Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope you enjoy. And if you do, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you stay up to date on further content. True, and welcome to Shadowstar. I am Captain Ri'shad, aka the Renegade, and this is a new series of video that I'm going to be working on for a short period, which will literally be covering a set lineup of ships within the Star Trek universe, either as part of Star Trek canon to the shows, or just a Star Trek Online. In the specific case of this one, this will be the top 5 list for my favourite canon non-hero Federation starships. I know, a bit of a mouthful. But these ships have to follow a certain guideline. They have to be Federation, they cannot be one of the hero ships, so no Sovereign, Defiant, Intrepid, not happening. And they have to be canon. Preferably Alpha canon. Don't think there is any beta canon. So, with that being said, shall we begin? Number 5. The Constellation class. A cheeky little ship, whose name came about because they needed to be able to say a name for a ship class that was close to Constitution. A ship developed during the same era of the Constitution, and saw action even into the time period of the Enterprise C, the Ambassador class. This ship was one of those ships where if it achieved its magnificent prime, its true potential, when it was originally developed, well, there would have been no ship in Starfleet as powerful as it. Unfortunately, it would reach its full potential past the prime of technology. By the time it truly was able to utilize its full potential, the Ambassador class had come along and, well, although the ship would now be able to equal the Excelsior and somewhat surpass it in some areas, mostly maneuverability, but not really speed, efficiency and power, this ship unfortunately had to, well, be scrapped. The awkwardness is it finally reached its potential and finally saw some proper use, and then they stopped developing the ship class because there was no point. They had far superior ships of the same size that could match it, and that is a pity for this ship because it is such a stunning ship design. A kit bash, but an evolution kit bash. It is actually a mould between original concepts made slightly bigger saucer, slightly thicker saucer, 4 nacelles, 2 impulsor rays, 2 torpedo tubes, well 4 torpedo tubes in that total, well armed. When this ship was fighting at its optimum, one of my other favourite ships and the Constitution would not have been able to fight this ship. Too bad it took so long to get there. You served well, Constellation class. Number 4. Let's show a little love for this magnificent beauty, shall we? The Akira class. First seen in First Contact, fighting alongside the Sovereign class. And from the moment she entered the screen, I was in love with her design. Beautiful roll par, a magnificent display in torpedo capability. She's got side mount torpedo launchers, forward and aft torpedo launchers, and as much as we only see her firing photons, it would be a bit of a stretch to say she isn't equipped with quantums, especially considering she's built in that period. Using the new, more efficient warp cores, warp drive, warp coils, a sleeker design, a design I'm absolutely a fan of, if I'm completely honest with. Someone's filing folio and web in the background. Hello. like that ship. This ship is just one of those ships which has stuck with me. Throughout the eras of Star Trek, this ship has stuck with me, and I love it. I can see how the NX may have been developed from this ship, and I actually understand that. I'm so glad they didn't do in Enterprise what they were going to do, because if they did that, I'd have been fuming. But it's nice to know that this ship also inspired another ship that I love. But my biggest key factor about this ship I love more than anything else is in an era where the organic round saucer was beginning to be faded out. Hello? This ship still has that round saucer. Yeah, not so round at the back, but it's got that smooth rounded flow, and it works so well with the rest of the shapes of the ship. It just screams beauty at me. The bridge is well defended. It's got some serious combat potential. And if there's one thing I would absolutely change about this ship, it's I'd have it so that we see more of her. And yes, when she showed up for pretty much a second time, oh, I was overjoyed. Especially with the Defiance at its side. I was very overjoyed. Number 3. Hey look, motion picture era again. What are we doing, hey? Well, it's that one hell of an amazing ship. Too bad during the Dominion War it was also the cannon fodder ship. We might see a partial trend here. The Miranda class. With various forms to be said, the Miranda was always my favourite. Khan, you chose well. This ship has got some magnificent potential going for it, and let's just be frank, it's essentially the Constitution class in a smaller space frame. This is to the Constitution what the Nebula is to the galaxy. Now, I was born in the era of Next Generation. I should probably bring that up. So you'd expect all my taste to be in that zone, and ironically, mostly is. Next Gen and onwards. But the Miranda class, it holds something beautiful in my heart. I am not, and yes, here comes some sacrilege to all of you, you're all going to kill me now. I'm not a fan of the Constitution. In the slightest. I imagine some people just unsubs. I've already got dislikes in the dislikes and hate in the comment section. But hear me out. I'm not a fan of the Constitution because I'm not a fan of the larger sizes. I like sleek, low profile, narrow profile starships. So, I'm a fan of ships like the Sovereign and the NX. I'm a fan of the Nova class and the Sabre class. The Miranda wins compared to the Constitution because of that factor. Because she is the narrow profile sister. She is essentially, you can tell what she was designed for. She's able to function alongside next to the Constitution. She's smaller and more agile so that she can maneuver around and protect the Constitution and the flagship of the Federation. She can equal the Constitution in firepower and even equal the Constitution in speed. Well, impulse speed. She might not be as fast at warp, she might not actually have the same level of power and structural integrity and be able to take the same kind of punishment as the Constitution. But she can do one thing the Constitution can't do, and that's hammer back with more firepower. She's uniquely equipped with the mega phasers, which are linked into the warp power grid. It literally feeds off the warp drive to deliver more powerful phaser outputs. She is gorgeous. It's no wonder why Khan and Kirk were in a standoff and had to use other tactics to actually take each other down. If they come at each other just gun to gun, this ship may have been able to win. Yes, its shields would probably go down quicker than the Constitution's, but she'd be able to take the Constitution shields out in less time than the Constitution would be able to take out this one's shields. Just purely from its better equipment. It's even got a better range of torpedo launchers. I just love the flow of this ship. It's an eloquent design. Smooth flows to it, great roll bar, nice profile. I do love the motion picture feel, to be fair. I'm a bigger fan of the motion picture Connie over the TOS Connie, but this ship for me just takes the absolute cake in just beauty. I have always liked this ship from the first moment I was introduced to it, and I think I'm going to like it for much longer. Number 2. Come on, get the hate out of the way now. Go on, shout it at me. I've got a disco ship, a Star Trek Discovery ship, so high on my top 5 list. Yes, I have. You know, my only gripe with Star Trek Discovery is the fact that they confuse people. Because what you see for Bazaar collectors on this starship is basically what the Bazaar collectors are on every starship ever seen. For the Federation, at least. Because what a lot of people don't realise is behind that orange, beige, peachy coloured, or even the later reds, what's behind that shield housing at the front of the Bazaar is what you can see for the Bazaars on this ship. The only difference between Discovery's ships and later generations and the Discovery Connie is it doesn't have any shielding around the Bazaars. There's no shield housing to the Bazaars. Discoveries just have the Bazaar collectors out in the open. That's the big difference. But they confuse people because they've got that spinning element, what looks to be behind the same kind of shielding. Oh. What you don't realise is that on the Connie, that spinning element is then got the shielding in front of it. But okay. Minor gripe aside, why do I love this ship? Because it's taken one of my absolute favourite starships and evolved it. You see, something I can probably just straight up say and hands up, because it's kind of an obvious thing with me. As much as, yeah, I've had a couple of low sling nacelles on my lists in the past, this one this one hems to my favourite design. The saucer to secondary hull and raised nacelles. I love having raised nacelles, and this saucer the secondary hull, I love the integration of the way it works together. More than that, I love how it's an evolution of the NX class. It's very, very easy to tell that this ship has probably evolved from the NX design schematics. Basically because it's a round saucer, its secondary hull is now strapped on behind it rather than anchored below it like the refit is believed to be from the NX. And then the pylons are just basically taking the same lift upwards to its nacelles. It's the exact same shape and profile as the NX. And that's why it's on my list. In fact, this ship is very, very, very much in rival to be my number 1 ship. But then let's be fair, every ship on this list is actually a major jump over any other ship on my list for non-hero. I absolutely adore this design. And I really, really wish we got to see more of it in Discovery. It's one of those ships I wanted more of. My biggest favourite points? The way it takes 2 design ideas. The underside is round, smooth and fluid. The upper side, sharp and aggressive. It's got the ideals of Starfleet, but it's not afraid to be angry. And that's what I love about this ship. That, when we first saw it in action, not the Battle of Binary Stars, but when Discovery was coming to rescue the USS Gagarin, holy moly, I fell for it right there and then. It's like, oh my god, I love this ship, I want more of it. Star Trek Online, give us the ship! I'm so glad we got it. I was literally sitting there to buy this ship the moment it released. I'm so glad we have it. But you know what other ship I bought instantaneously? Literally, I started playing Star Trek Online, and the moment I could get this ship, I got this ship. Literally at the same time as I got another one, actually. Well, we need an honourable mention first of all. So, my honourable mention is quite simple. It's the Captain's Yacht. What? I said starships. I didn't say there had to be big starships. Runabout type ships are still starships. They are out there, so a shuttlecraft technically. And it's quite lucky there wasn't a number 6, because number 6 and number 5 and number 7, well, yeah, would have been runabouts. The honourable mention is the Captain's Yacht for the Sovereign class. Now I imagine there were other Captain's Yachts out there, but when we got to see this ship, I was fuming. We didn't get even more of this ship. Absolutely fuming. Wow. The thing is, the Captain's Yacht is essentially the Galaxy class variant of a runabout. Do you see, your typical runabout that we see in Deep Space Nine, well, that's just your average runabout. That is used by most stations for short range missions, sometimes slightly longer range. It can even take you from starbase to starbase. The Captain's Yacht is completely capable of all functions that a runabout is capable of, and then some. It's faster, it's tougher, better shielding, better equipped with weaponry, and more than that, she's more luxurious and comfortable. She's meant for the captain after all. This ship is basically the ship for the captain to go off and relax and do his own little hobbies. If he wants to do some, well, poetry, philosophy, practice his diplomacy, off he can quench your comfort on his own. Maybe go set this ship down in an ocean or something, because my word, it also looks like a boat. And relax. And for the love of mercy, thank you Star Trek Online for giving us this shipping game. Give me more excuses to use it. I adore this ship. And ironically, it's following my similar profile requirements. It's a slim and quick profile. Low slung nacelles. I mean, that's probably the only thing I'd change. Lifting nacelles, I'd have been happier. I'm not even complaining really, this ship is gorgeous. But she's only the honourable mention. It's time now for number 1. Yes guys, your eyes are not deceiving you. You are definitely looking at an Oberth class. This one is give me tier 6 Oberth. Yeah, because I want that in Star Trek Online. Guys, I'm not joking, I am being serious. This is my number 1 non-hero ship canon Federation starship design. And I'm going to explain why. It's because she's underestimated like hell. If you think of the Miranda class, funny enough on my list too, the Miranda class was a ship that was cannon fodder, blown to pieces time and time again, and made to look like butter to a hot knife. Well, that doesn't mean the Miranda class wasn't a capable ship. We all know it was capable. So why does everyone think this ship is incapable? First of all, let's follow the true rule of Star Trek Starship sizing. If you really want to know how big a ship is, yeah, you've got Egomos and stuff like that to tell you. But you know how you can really tell how big a ship actually is? The windows. If you took this ship for its idea design, you can't even get down to the secondary hull. There's no room actually in the back of that ship. It's too small. But you know what? The actual ship I saw, the one that made me fall in love with it, was next to a Galaxy class. Now that one made sense. And that one was gorgeous. Ah! Thing is, after seeing the Oberth, I thought to myself, that is a very unusual design. I actually started looking up things about the ship, kept chasing it, like the fact that, as you can see, it's got shuttle bays there around the outer ring. That's canon. That isn't a Star Trek Online mistake. They are actually there. That gives you an idea of what this ship's true size is, because it has to be able to fit shuttles into there, right? Yeah, it doesn't have runabouts or anything like that, and it doesn't use huge shuttles. It's using small shuttle pods, and it doesn't actually have a lot of them. As far as I'm aware, this ship had 2 pods per bay, and it has 3 bays. And the bays aren't very deep. I should add that too. But let's think about another thing. This ship had a sole purpose. It was so good at this purpose that it was still functioning even alongside Galaxy classes. More up, it was so good at this purpose, it required 2 ships to replace it. The Nova and the Sabre. Those 2 ships replaced the Oberth. Why? Because this ship was a research and experimental starship. It was 100% modular. Everything about this ship could be adjusted. The bridge, the launchers, the weaponry, the engineering module. It wasn't an actual engineering room. You can see on the back of the ship, on this specific ship, between the 2 copper plates, it's got 2 ring discs on it. That raised section behind the saucer, that is the engineering bay, and it's modular, designed to be removed and replaced to allow it to test different warp cores, to test 2 warp cores alongside each other. So essentially, see the difference in efficiency. The Stargazer's technical faults were fixed thanks to this ship. The mega phasers of the Miranda would have been tested on a ship like this. New systems, new computer technology, new defenses, all of that stuff would have been tested on this kind of ship. Your average Oberth was not high-end. It could easily be destroyed by a bird of prey. But there were Oberths out there which were so powerful it could actually fight a Nebula class. What? A ship this size could stand up to a Nebula? Yeah, it wouldn't win, but it could probably pull a draw out of its hat. It is actually possible for this ship to go toe to toe with an Excelsior class and win. It could go up against the D7 and win. These ships had specialized shielding that allowed them to do close to star research. You'd probably find metaphasic shielding was being tested on one of these ships at some point. It had weaponry tests that would literally allow Starfleet to develop weapons that they used against the Borg. It had special launcher modules that could be attached to the underside to test not only photons, but quantums and tricobalt devices. Yeah, Voyager's super powerful tricobalt device was probably tested on one of these. In fact, even the biomagnetic gel packs were probably tested on some version of Oberth. Do not underestimate this ship. 9 times out of 10, you'd probably come across a weak one. But I wouldn't gamble it. If you came across one of the strong ones and you're in, say, I don't know, your typical bird of prey, you're not going to win. And that's what I love about this ship. Moreover, this ship is one of those ones which you can tell its capability by how long it lasted. And I think that's why I really love it. It's the underdog that, maybe not to the fan base, but to Starfleet itself, proved its worth. A ship underestimated by the fan base, but it's a ship that operated alongside the refitted Constitution and the Galaxy class. Gotta give it some dividends for that. When other ships have been phased out, this ship is still flying. You don't see Constitutions alongside the Ambassador and the Galaxy. You see Miranda's. You see Excelsior's. And maybe not on the battlefield, but you see Oberth's. I love this ship. And you know what? With that being said, it's time to wrap it up. So guys, what's your favourite ships? I would love to hear your favourite ships. And please tell me what it is you like about these ships too. Specifically, I would say with this video, try to stick to the non-hero canon ships of the Federation. But if you want to list off other ships that are your favourites, by all means, go for it. You might even inspire me to which one I'm going to do next, which video I'm going to do next. Currently between the idea of Federation STO ships designs or STO starships for use. No, what my top 5 ships to actually use in Star Trek Online are versus actual design, because that's not the same list. But seriously guys, with that being said, thank you for watching, and to my very generous and loyal donators and patrons for your support, a massive thank you guys. You're keeping this channel afloat and how you're helping me grow towards my final goal. So I really do owe you one. And let me say further that if you wish to support this channel on a personal level, there's links below in the description. There are 2 ways of doing it, either donate or be a Patreon. It's up to you. Don't feel like you have to. I'm just truly appreciative that you guys have watched to the end. Hopefully you subscribe. Hopefully you'll join me next time. Don't forget to check out our Discord so that you can keep up to date on everything I'm working on. With that being said guys, thank you for watching. Ciao for now. Helm! Helm! Engage.